Morning, Pastor Steve. I will be doing 52 You Ponder That's based on the simple writings from the New City Catechism. There are acknowledgments each week to show you that they have given permission to use their excellent little booklet. So I hope you enjoy this series. So stay tuned. Morning, Pastor Steve here. The next question, number 4 in the Catechism, is how and why did God create us? And their answer is God created us, male and female, His own image, to know Him and love Him, live with Him, glorify Him. And it is right that we who were created by God should live to His glory. Genesis 1:27, so God created mankind, in His image. In the image of God created He him, male and female created He them. The Bible makes it very clear that God created mankind and that He created him for His own glory. So the ultimate purpose of man is simply to glorify God. And the Westminster Catechism says, glorify God and enjoy Him forever. I like how John Piper adds, by enjoying Him forever. He said, evidently the old theologians didn't think they were talking about two things. They said the chief end, not the chief ends. Glorifying God and enjoying Him were one end in their minds, not two. Piper also maintains, and I concur, that it's unbiblical and arrogant to try to worship God for any other reason than the pleasure to be had in Him. Don't miss those last two words, in Him. Not in His gifts, but in Him. Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give thee the desires of thine heart. We also know from Nehemiah 8:10, as they're working, that He said, look, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Sometimes we get a bit too self-important and forget that God made us to enjoy. And it's not a sin to enjoy what He gave us. Blaise Pascal wrote, all men seek happiness. This is without exception. Whatever different means they employ, they all tend to this end. The cause of some going to war and of others avoiding it is the same desire in both, attended with different views. The will never takes the least step but to this object. This is the motive of every action of every man, even of those who hang themselves. He didn't find enjoying happiness to be a sin at all. He said, if you ask 20 good men today what they thought the highest of virtues, 19 of them would reply unselfishness. But if you asked almost any of the great Christians of old, they would reply love. You see what's happened? A negative term has been substituted for a positive. And this is more than philosophical importance. The negative idea of unselfishness carries with it suggestions not primarily of securing good things for others, but of going without them. That's from Blaise Pascal Pensées. You might want to get a copy of that. C.S. Lewis in The Weight of Glory said, if there lurks in most modern minds the notion that to desire our own good and earnestly to hope for the enjoyment of it is a bad thing, I submit that this notion has crept in from Immanuel Kant and the Stoics and is no part of the Christian faith. Indeed, if we consider the unblushing promises of reward and the staggering nature of the rewards promised in the Gospels, it would seem that our Lord finds our desires not too strong, but too weak. We're half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition, when infinite joy is offered us. Like an ignorant child, he says, who wants to go on making mud pies in the slums because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased. You're worried that taking time to enjoy yourself dishonors God? I think it's time to stop and refocus and realize that our chief end is to glorify God by enjoying Him. And remembering James 1:16 and 17, don't make any mistakes about it. Don't err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift, every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Make no mistake. God gave us all these things. And Paul wrote to Timothy that in 1 Timothy 6:17b, don't trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who giveth us all things richly to enjoy. I love the closing of this line from C.S. Lewis in The Last Battle, the closing book in the Chronicles of Narnia. He said this, there is a kind of happiness and wonder that makes you serious. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.